lifestyle over luxury. It's definitely in its opportunity phase, but one of the biggest factors, we bought our 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. People keep asking me, is Puglia the new Tuscany? The thing is, Italians have always known about Puglia. Its beautiful landscapes, its amazing food and wine, its fantastic beaches. There really isn't anything new about Puglia. Many of its towns, just like the one I'm walking through today, Oria, date back to centuries earlier than Rome. Listen, Tuscany is iconic, and it's always going to be iconic Tuscany. But there has been a growing global recognition of this region of Italy, Puglia. And so in today's video, we're going to take a little look at why that is. Ciao ragazzi! If you're new here, my name is Anise, and I'm an American living between London and Italy. Not too long ago, my husband and I purchased a beach house here in Puglia, and we've been renovating it. Some of you have been following my series, and we have been falling in love with Puglia ever since. Like Tuscany, Puglia has ancient stone architecture, historic hill towns, and this slow cinematic beauty about it. Also like Tuscany, everything here revolves around the land. Olive oil made from groves that stretch for miles, wine, food that is simply done well. Puglia is not a place of reinvention, it's a place of tradition, something that in our increasingly technological world, people are yearning for. But that said, Italians outside of Puglia been known about this place, all right? Every time I'm here in Puglia, I always meet new people from Milan, Bologna, Rome on the beach, especially in the high season, because they come down here for their own family holidays, staying in summer homes of their nonna. Like so many vacation gems across the world, Puglia is not a place that is undiscovered. It just simply has been protected. And if you are lucky enough to visit here, you are one of the lucky few who has been let into a beautiful part of life. In terms of international buzz, Puglia has stayed quieter longer than Tuscany. While Tuscany is still obviously authentically Italian, it just feels like it has a bit of a more polished glaze because there are so many international visitors and such a big international pull. Puglia, on the other hand, has retained a lot of its incredibly rustic authenticity, which is beautiful. And in some parts, if you can stomach it, you're gonna get a lot of unfinished, dusty countryside roads, but that's exactly part of the charm. So why has this global attention accelerated? Well, first off, you've had a major increase in visibility from high-profile events and celebrity moments. For example, the Dolce & Gabbana fashion show, which featured Kim Kardashian a few years ago in Alberobello. Also, the G7 summit was also here in Fasano in Puglia. But one of the biggest factors also raising Puglia's global visibility has been the wedding boom that Puglia has been experiencing. So you've had a lot of international wealthy people who have been coming over here to have their weddings, and that's been putting a big spotlight on masserias and countryside, farmhouse, rustic style celebrations that in one respect, bring a lot of industry to the region, which is wonderful. But as we know, with internationals that come to a rustic region, I have a little friend that is joining our video today. I heard some tip-taps on cobblestone, and what else could that be but a cute little baby that wants to grab the spotlight? It was a big one. Back to what we were saying. As we know, with rising industry, you also see rising prices. And as a result of this growing interest in Puglia from international clientele, you have seen a bit more investment in infrastructure. For instance, Brindisi Airport just underwent a major facelift. I personally have experienced seeing way more traffic at Bari and Brindisi airports ever since I have been coming. I have seen more Americans here at the Brindisi and Bari airports more than I do in my usual everyday life, traveling between London and Italy, particularly during the high seasons. And because of this growing spotlight on the region, there actually now is the first ever direct flight from America to Puglia. It's a New York JFK flight, I think it's by Neo Airlines, that flies direct, non-stop, straight to Puglia. Listen, when there is demand, there is going to be a market that moves with it. And you can see it in the data. In the US particularly, Americans 10 years ago were not Googling Puglia the way that they are now. Puglia, a place that really wasn't on the radar as a vacation destination for so many people, particularly Americans, is steadily showing up as a place that people want to be. Another reason why people are calling Puglia the next Tuscany is property. When you hear the word Tuscany, what do you think? You think luxury, you think expensive. Ever since Homegirl published her book Under the Tuscan Sun in the late 90s and the film came out with Diane Lane's my girl, the dream of purchasing the old Tuscan villa and renovating the old Tuscan farmhouse has become a dream of many. But in that vein, sadly means a lot of people are simply priced out of the Tuscan dream because it's been one that has been climbing in cost for the past decades. Oh, this is beautiful in here. On the other hand, Puglia is not quite at that point. One of my favorite things, guys, I have been to Oria a few times, but I am just kind of stumbling through this town now as I'm filming this video for you. And like, look at the places I am stumbling upon. You know, the camera really does not capture it, but it is stunning. It is stunning in here. What is this? Who knows? Some old thing. Some old medieval or prehistoric or pre-Roman ruin. It's gorgeous in here. What in the hell? Look at all these stairs. This is so pretty. I am fairly unscripted, guys. But like when I'm trying to give you important information, I do have some notes and stuff, and maybe it makes me a little bit stilted, but like what you are seeing now are some true, authentic reactions of this American girl getting lost in the beauty of Puglia. It's stunning here. Puglia, on the other hand, around 2021, I'll throw a graph up on the screen, has hit a bit of a low in its property prices. It wasn't until 2023 that I came to visit Puglia for the very first time, immediately fell in love, and in that same first visit, started viewing properties. I have the whole story in a series up on my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure at the end of this video, you go ahead and watch my house hunting in Puglia in southern Italy series, and you can get the full from beginning to end story of how I wound up with a house here. But if you take a look at that graph, you will see that around 2020, 2021, property prices hit a low. When I came to visit in 2023, we took a look at this graph and we saw that, okay, there was a bit of a steady incline about to happen. Now it is 2026, and let me show you what that graph looks like now. So when I say your girl feels validated in her choice to buy here, your girl feels validated in her choice to buy here. Absolutely. Such a beautiful, scenic, quiet space, and here I am, mouth to mouth, and people just trying to enjoy, like I'm just talking loud. Sorry, y'all. We are not gatekeepers on this channel, and in full transparency, we bought our 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, just about 160 square meters, for 175,000 euros. Considering its 2 coastlines, Puglia is flush with both seaside and countryside living. We chose to live on the beach, meaning the ocean is just right in our backyard, not even a few minutes walk from our house. And being able to have a beach house of that size for that cost was one of the big draws for us to Puglia. So Puglia, unlike Tuscany, I would say, is definitely in its opportunity phase as opposed to its peak phase. Tuscany is a little bit past the peak. It's bomb. It's amazing. We love Tuscany. But from an economic point of view, Tuscany is past the peak, trust me. Puglia, on the other hand, even though that graph is showing the steady climb of the property prices, I still think that we are probably in the lower quartile of where that is destined to go. Think about it. Think about it. And speaking of opportunity, in southern Italy, generally, but especially in Puglia, there are many incentives that the government has created to attract people to not just come here, but to come here, stay here, and invest here. There is a growing retirement community, a growing foreign retirement community. And that is especially because of the 7% flat tax that is offered in many towns for persons of retirement age, or those of you that don't have to work no more, those of you that aren't stuck in the rat race or the daily grind. If you come and make one of these beautiful towns in Puglia, in southern Italy, your primary residence, the town itself has to have less than 20,000 inhabitants, you will be taxed at a flat rate of 7% on your foreign sourced income. And that is a very attractive pull for many in the retirement community who decide to come and make Puglia their home. A lot of people who are just over the hustle and the rat race are deciding to choose lifestyle over luxury. And that's definitely something that you find here in Puglia. In fact, a lot of Italian Americans who are eager to reconnect with their heritage have also been making an exodus back to Italy, leaving the US so that they can get their hands deep in the dirt of their roots here in Italy and reconnect with where they come from. That obviously is not my story. Like I said, if you guys want to know my story, you can go and watch many of the other videos on my channel. The house hunting series I will link at the end. I will also link a house tour of my house, of that 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house I mentioned earlier at the end, so you guys can take a little watch and understand a little bit more of how I wound up here. But I'm not telling y'all again, because I already told y'all, so go look up for the other videos for you so you can learn. With this growing interest of foreigners to make Italy their new home, Italy has been both opening but also tightening its arms. Opening, for instance, in the sense that late last year, the Prime Minister announced that there was going to be an unprecedented number of work visas granted over the next 2 years. I think about 500,000, actually, to, yes, of course, fill some real economic needs that Italy has in agricultural sector, tourist sector, so on and so forth, but also providing an opportunity to those who are looking for it. On the other hand, the path towards citizenship for those with Italian heritage has not necessarily become easier. Now that Italy has decided to crack down on its citizenship by descent route, lessening the number of generations you can go back to claim citizenship through heritage. Now, either a parent or a grandparent must have been born in Italy for foreigners with Italian heritage to use the route of citizenship by descent. So, is Puglia the new Tuscany? Listen, Puglia isn't trying to be anything other than itself. And from what I know about Italian regional pride, the last thing that Southern Italians are trying to do is be just like Italians that are more northern than them. So, I don't think that's any concern we have to have that Puglia is going to become the new Tuscany. A better question might be, if Puglia is to become the next Tuscany, is Puglia going to stay Puglia with its authenticity and its charm? My hope is that if people come here, that they come here with care. That if they are going to invest here, that they are going to do it with a respect for the culture, that they are going to do it with an eye towards restoring properties, not changing them. That foreigners will invest long-term and not simply for a quick flip. It is a dream. I know that I am living a dream right now that I could have never imagined a few years ago. But if you decide to move abroad, if you decide to buy abroad, if you decide to live abroad, it is not always just cupcakes and rainbows. Italian bureaucracy is not for the weary, okay? Hear me when I say that. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you think that Puglia can grow without losing its soul? Would you choose Puglia over Tuscany? And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Punch that notification bell so you know when I have my next videos coming out so you never miss a beat. And on that note, guys, I have been chit-chatting with you long enough. I am gonna get myself a little cafe and a pasticciotto and enjoy the rest of this lovely day here in Oria. It is always a pleasure. Can't wait to see you guys in the next episode, which will be all about buying property in Italy as a foreigner. A how-to in 5 steps. I will be waiting for you, so make sure you don't miss it. Until then, guys, it's always a pleasure. Ci vediamo. Ciao. Hi, baby. Oh, the car is coming. You gotta be careful. Hi, honey. So sweet.